99.1 FM CKXS back with the All About Real Estate show. It's Saturday mornings, and we've got Pete Ayler back in studio with us. How you doing today?
Good, Greg. Good. How are you?
I am good. Last time we did this show where we were featuring old classic cars and the cartoons and all that stuff, you talked a little bit about your van.
Yes.
The Volkswagen
Westphalia, 1974 Westphalia.
And you still have it.
Oh, yeah.
What color is it again?
Orange.
Orange
Crush.
You don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon?
No.
What's the fastest that Orange Crush has ever gone?
You know, I think I had her up to, it's in miles.
Yes.
Miles per hour. And last weekend, I took it up to Bayfield.
Yeah.
And I think I had her up to 67 miles an hour. Like I was hanging on for dear life.
It wasn't built for speed.
No. Comfort. Built for comfort.
It's such a cool looking vehicle. I encourage you to check that out if you haven't seen what one looks like before. We've heard a lot of great stories about some of these old classic cars over the last little while. If you were to pick somebody in Wallaceburg, think about the whole community, or Port Lambton, Sombra, Moortown, Dresden, wherever it may be, because, I know your real estate company covers a lot of area. Who do you think is one of the biggest car buffs around? When you think of car buffs, who comes to mind for Pete Ayler?
Well, for me, I would say the number one man that he's passed now, but he was an awesome guy, is Oscar Othier and his family, all the boys. They were Oldsmobile Cutlass people.
Okay.
And but Oscar had some pretty amazing Oldsmobile Cutlass convertibles, the 442. He had just the straight Oldsmobiles with the rocket, the 350 rocket motors, 4 barrels. He had some of those. And I think the boys still have them, like Dave and his brothers and so on. They still have them. Of course, Dave works down at Riverview. Dave Othier, his dad. Yeah, he was awesome. He always had beautiful cars.
See, I love this stuff, and this is what this Saturday show is all about, because after the real estate show is done, we'll get back to some more of the great cartoons and all of that stuff. But I love the fact that there's so much history attached to cars and people. I mean, the two go hand in hand, and why the car shows are so big. And, this would be, today would be the day that people would be on the streets, outside our studios, walking up and down, enjoying Wambo.
Yes, exactly. That's right.
So these stories are great. But, of course, we got you in here to talk real estate, so let's get to that here. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about pricing your home. And it probably is one of the toughest things to do, but it's why you really need a real estate agent. It's why you need someone who's an expert on how to price your home, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely the toughest part of our job. No question. It's because it's so important.
Right.
In this market, it is so important to price it properly.
Let's go to the price it too high. What happens?
It'll sit in this market. Our old thinking is, guys like you and I that have a little bit of gray in our goatees.
I have a lot more than you. I think.
Our old thinking is, we'll just use a number. I want $225,000 for my house, so I'm going to price it at $250,000, and then get an offer at $200,000, and we're going to go back and forth, and it'll sell for $225,000.
Sure, that's exactly how I think. That's my old thinking. Yeah,
and yeah, that's the way I always thought. But in this market, it's that old thinking is gone. If you think you want $225,000 for your house, or you can get $225,000 for your house, if you price it at $250,000. Almost guaranteed it's going to sit around, and you're going to sell it a month and a half from now for like $210,000 or $205,000.
So if it sits around, it becomes a negative. Is it because people start thinking, well, the house has been on the market now for 4 months, must be something wrong with it?
Absolutely.
Is that what happens?
Totally. So if you price it too high, you get too greedy. Price it too high, it sits. Honestly, it used to be if something was 3 months old, and a listing 3 months old wasn't that big a deal.
Right.
Now, if a listing is 3 weeks old, people are like, what is wrong with this house? Like, this thing should have sold by now. Oh, it must be way overpriced. Must be something wrong with it.
Right.
So what happens, there's a saying in real estate, and I think I've said this before, ask less, get more. And that is true in this market. It is so true to price it properly. And you almost have to, if anything, you have to price it attractive right now to attract lots of buyers. As soon as you attract lots of buyers, you have 3 or 4 people want it, and then you will get the 225. So, maybe price it at 199, and you pick up a whole bunch more buyers, and now all of a sudden the people that, thought they could only pay 200, they see it, they fall in love with it. They find money. People find money all the time. And next thing you know, it's selling for, 225, 230. And that's just the way it is. I mean, I've always said, it's tough on buyers right now. It really is. And it's tough on local buyers. But, we don't make the rules. I mean, we just follow them.
Your job is to take care of the person selling the house.
Well, I mean, in this case, we take care of both sides. But the bottom line is that if you are a seller, I mean, you probably want as much as you can get for whatever you're selling, right? It doesn't matter if you're talking about a classic car or a house. I mean, you want as much as it's worth. And how do you get as much as it's worth? You get enough buyers in that want it, and then you get what it's worth. Attract more people. If the price is lower, you might get some people looking at it that maybe thought it wasn't a house for them, but then later change their mind. Yeah.
Price it too high, they don't even look.
Yeah, that's right. That's what happens, right? So if because there's benchmarks as you're looking, right? So everybody looks at Realtor.ca, puts in, up to 200, up to 225, up to 250. So if you've got a house that, you're hoping to get a little over 2 or, maybe 2.25. Well, if you go to 250, well, you've missed everybody. Like people up to 2 are not going to go to 250. They might go to 210 or 20, but they're not going to go to 250. So the other thing that I say, and again, we obviously promote local, but just because, if you're going to sell your house and sometimes people will get 2 or 3 realtors in to give them their advice.
Right.
I've said to people, just because another realtor might tell you, oh, yeah, your house, 250, that doesn't mean you're going to get it. And sometimes, people might tell you what you want to hear to get the listing. I usually try to act more on, I'm going to give you the best advice I think I need to give you. And maybe some of it won't be what you want to hear, but I just feel that it's better to be honest about it. And we know the market here as well. We know what's all gone on in the past year or 6 months or whatever. So
what would you tell somebody? I mean, we've had this a little bit of a conversation of, they're trying to list it themselves, but walk us through the power that goes with listing with a real estate agent, because there is a lot of power that comes with that. Yeah.
So, I'll give you an example. I listed a property. It was, a week ago, Wednesday. We got it on the system. We priced it what we thought was a fair price. Maybe we'll call it an attractive price. We held offers for 6 days. In those 6 days, we had 27 showings, everywhere from Kitchener, London, Sarnia, Chatham, Windsor, and local, right? So 27 showings.
Wow.
And we received a cash, no condition offer on this house on Wednesday for substantially more than asking. I mean, at the end of the day, I looked at that and thought, just look at the power of listing your house. I mean, I honestly don't think that you could ever do that in this market. You can't do that without employing somebody that can get it out there. We had it. Well, and I mean, I advertised it on the radio here. So like that's probably what happened right there.
I would like to take full credit for that sale, but I know that's probably not true. If we could have just a little bit to do with it, then that's wonderful. But I mean, it does show the power of a real estate agent, right? I mean,
well, in our system, right? It's the power of the system we have to get it out there, to get it out to everyone. It's funny, Kevin O'Leary, we all know Kevin O'Leary. I was listening to a little podcast of his just today, and he talked about, how to get what something is worth, how to get the maximum value. And it had to do with, you need to attract lots of buyers to that item, no matter what it is. And he talked about homes. He was talking cottages and homes, so I know as a buyer, we would all love to be able to go and buy something and maybe get a deal and all that. And I get it. I'm the first one to want a deal. But again, this market is what it is, and we have to get the buyers in to get you the most for your house. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're talking to Pete Eller today from Riverside Realty. It's the All About Real Estate show. So with all of that said, guess what? Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to talk about some of those listings that they have out there. And also, we're going to be rejoined by Jeff Wesley, who's back in studios today to help you on the legal side of your home when it comes to real estate, all coming up here. Now back to some old cartoons. If there's any car song that you'd like to hear, what's a good car?
What's the band, The Cars?
Yeah.
The band, The
Drive?
Cars. Yes.
Drive and the Cars. Here it is now. We're playing it. It's the All About Real Estate show, and it's our Saturday virtual car show weekend on 99.1 FM. 99.1 FM CKXS, another one of those great car songs that we play here on our virtual car show weekend. Of course, a big part of our Saturdays is the All About Real Estate show with Riverside Realty. Pete Eller is our guest in today. And of course, we always want to share those listings that you have, Pete. So let's walk through some of those. You've got how many today?
We've got, I guess we got 4 or 5 here that
Wow.
I wanted to mention. We're kind of spreading our wings here today on our listings. We go everywhere from out at Mitchell's Bay all the way to Wyoming, back into Dresden, and then we swing back around into Wallaceburg. So if any of these guys out touring in their cars today want to go for, like, those are some nice areas to cruise to, right? I mean, maybe go from Mitchell's Bay down the river and swing over to Wyoming. So in Wyoming, we have I'm so excited about this listing. It's the coolest, one of the coolest places I've ever listed. It's 622 London Street, Wyoming. It's built in 1890s. It's a Victorian home, fully restored to original. It's incredible. It's like, you walk through it and you feel like you're going back in time. It's
Really?
like a museum. Like the tin ceilings and big hardwood, original pocket doors, two-way swing doors. And the coolest part about this house is that it has the things that you want to have updated in a Victorian home are done. Kitchen, bathrooms, walk-in dressing room with laundry, attached garage, and a gorgeous backyard with an outdoor kitchen overlooking a beautiful pond. It
Does sound incredible.
It is honestly incredible. It's a great. It's been such a fun listing to do. So that's in Wyoming. You swing over to Dresden at 429 Sydenham Street in Dresden. Another beautiful home, river across the street, very private, nice big yards, got a shed in the back. Sydenham Street in Dresden.
Is that who used to own that house?
Well,
I guess if I'm asking questions,
no.
Okay.
It's actually Karen Melton from our office lives there. She's selling her house. It's her house, so she built it. Her and her husband built it.
I thought isn't that where Fran and Fred Martin used to live?
Very close to that, because Fran and Fred lived in one, and so did Karen. But hers is across the street up the river there.
Okay,
but beautiful house, a newer home, built home.
Okay.
Then if we swing...
It's such a small town, isn't it? What radio program with real estate can you start talking about stuff like, hey, didn't it such and such? Yeah.
Who was it back in... Yeah. Oh, you mean the Martin home.
Yeah, I know the one. Yeah, okay.
Then if we swing from there to over towards Mitchell's Bay, I've got a nice spot in the country on Bay Line. It's 7609 Bay Line on the way to Mitchell's Bay on the right-hand side.
I don't know anybody there. Sorry, I'm out.
No? Oh, okay, sorry.
Sounds like a good spot, though.
Yeah. It's the old parish homestead, actually, as if people know it. And then once you're there, head back into Wallaceburg, and we got a couple of decent ones in town. We have 286 Lorne Ave in Wallaceburg by the high school, a nice one-floor, well-kept home.
Yep.
And then, if you want a project, we have this awesome project home on King Street, 220 King. It actually backs, the frontage is on King, and then it goes all the way, I think it's Bruce, the back street. It goes all the way through and it has a shed at the back, a little garage shed at the back, but it's a fixer-upper. So we have a good variety, and like I say, we've spread our wings a bit this week. So, but again, those homes are all selling fast, so keep them coming. We need more listings. If you thought of selling your house, now is a good time.
Good stuff. He's Pete Eller from Riverside Realty. You reach them out online or give them a call by phone, or obviously, I guess, to stop into the office on James Street here in town.
Stop in or go on our Facebook, any one of our socials. We're heavy into socials nowadays, and our website, riversite.com. Our cell phones, we're easy to find.
Good stuff. All right, Pete, thanks a lot for coming in today. Any other songs you want to throw at me before you step aside, since we're playing cartoons today?
What's the one, Your Hands Wet on the Wheel? What's that? Who sings that? Your hands wet on the wheel.
Yeah.
Who is that? Golden Earring or something? Or who?
Yeah. Radar
Love.
Radar
Yeah,
Love.
that's the one. Yeah, that's a good one.
You're working me hard today. All right, that's the All About Real Estate show for you today here at 99.1 FM.